those people, and then we also keep the deceased company. Our local funeral homes, they're not Jewish, but they know all our customs, and they have a very nice, comfortable room set up where people who care about the person or just want to do the mitzvah, even if it's someone they didn't know, but to keep that person's neshama, their soul, company. So the deceased is in the casket, so it's not like you're seeing a dead body. And those people who sit with the person, but then they sit there in the room, usually reading Psalms, to keep that, to comfort the soul and in the transition from the living world to what their final resting place will be. And so I was lining up those people too. We call them shomrim, the word shomer, to guard from Hebrew, or to watch. So the shomrim are those who stay and watch over, protect the soul of the deceased until the funeral. And so I was busy getting that word out. So anyhow, a lot of things happening at one time. And my air conditioner's been out for a week in my house. Of 89 degrees, 89 grad in mein Heim, in mein Haus. Gewalt. So anyhow, so I'm a little bit fried, but a bissel farmished, but trying to be here for you and hope that you'll enjoy what we have here. So in addition to my science teaching, I was in the field of in business world. I did a lot of sales management over the years. So I retired about 10 years ago, and I've been very active with my local Yiddish club since then. And also I teach Yiddish course here using the wonderful new textbook that the Yiddish Book Center came out with a year ago. So what we typically do in our club is we have people tell stories. We have a topic of the week, and people prepare a 3-minute little talk that they present in Yiddish and then translate as they go, because a lot of people in the club are not, most are not fluent, actually. They understand some, but not fluent usually. And but obviously we're not doing that with you. If we were replicating our club, we would have given you time to prepare and you would all be presenting. But instead, your participation will be questions and answers later, but mostly to enjoy what we present. So after we do our what we call topic talks, then we typically have a song or two, but so we'll do more than 2 songs because we're not doing all the little talks. And we typically start with looking at the song on a song sheet and reading the lyrics, and then we play if I can find a wonderful version on YouTube, then that's what we listen to. So we're going to start with a darling love song by a lovely, sung by a lovely, sweet young lady. Raise your hand if you know who Ruth Rubin was. Do you remember the name of Ruth Rubin? The great folklorist and collector, Sammler of Yiddish songs. She collected maybe 2,000 Yiddish songs. And this is one that she has the archives that show all of her that have all the songs she's collected. This is in there, but this is a new recording of the song, just recent in the last few years, by a very sweet young lady. And a friend of hers made a harmony for it, and it's just really lovely. So what we'll do, though, I'm going to take the English off the screen. This doesn't need to be, how do I get that off? Oh, close, there we go, close that so we have more room. And I'm going to make the Yiddish part bigger, and I'll just read a stanza of the English, and then anyone who would like to unmute and volunteer and read that stanza in Yiddish, and that's how we'll go through the song. So again, it's a love song. It's a young man who is wooing the young lady, or vice versa. Usually folk songs like this that are written for a man, they can be sung by a woman, and you don't change the words, you just sing it as it is. So this says, it's dark outside. It's dark outside, it's late at night. Not a hum, not a rustle is heard. Not a bird is flying in the street. Where have you been? I want to speak a couple of words with you. Where have you been? I want to be together with you. So may I have a volunteer? Maybe Zelda, I see you there. Would you like to unmute and read this first stanza?
Do you want me to read in the ICS or in the
whichever you're comfortable with? Let me see if I can even, I can't see. Can you see it? Okay.
I would need it bigger in the Oisius.
Need
but I
it bigger? Okay, well, go a little bigger in the Oisius. Is that good?
Okay. In Dreußen is finster. In Dreußen is finster. Es ist spät bei Nacht. Men hört kein Zoom, kein Schorch,
George?
kein Figela Paul
Oh,
Yen.
that's funny. Wait a minute, see if I can fix that. That's not right. I've got to, we got the line in the wrong place. There it should be right there.
Fallen,
Fliehen.
fliehen auf der Gas. Auf wo bist du gewesen?
Gewen. Oh, for
Gewen.
anybody who's watching the transliteration, if the accent on if the accented syllable is anything other than where you expect it, you normally expect it to be next to last. But so I put it in bold, so you if you're reading it from the translate, you know that's where to put the accent.
Will mit dir zwei Wörter reden. Wo bist du gewesen?
Gewen.
Ich will mit dir zusammen sein.
Right, he wants to be together with her. I hope that's in an innocent way. Okay. All right, the second stanza, and anybody who wants to read after I'll read the English, then come on. So come on out to me, my precious darling. I stand waiting in the street. I absolutely don't know why. So come on out. I want to talk with you. So come on out. I want to be together with you. Okay, next volunteer to read. Talk. Right here. Talk, come.
Brenda, why don't you volunteer? You're amazing. Brenda Rosenthal.
A dank. Toll, komm mal raus zu mir. Mein teure, süß Leben. Ich stehe und wart in Gas. Noch einmal? Mehr?
Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
Okay. Ich weiß alleen niet voor was. Kom je eruit. Ik wil met de twee Wörter reden. Kom je eruit. Ik wil met de zusammen zijn.
Now, who could resist this lovely request? That was very lovely reading. Okay, one more stanza. Oh, your lovely face with your dear black eyes, and oh, your mouth with your beautiful white teeth. Where have you been? I want to talk with you. So come on out. I want to walk together with you.
Schuldig mir, a dank, Marcia.
All right, volunteer, please. Anybody?
Veronica,
Okay, Veronica.
Okay.
There was supposed to be an oi over here. I don't see it there, but it's in oi.
oi dein schön Ponym mit deiner Ponym. Oi dein schön Ponym mit deiner schwarzinke. Was ist Otschelach?
Well, keep reading and then we'll explain what that word is.
Okay. Oi und dein Mäul mit deiner schöne weißinke Zähn. A wo bist du gewesen? Ich will mit dir zwei Wörter reden. Komm ja raus. Ich will mit dir zusammen gehen.
Beautiful reading, beautiful reading. All right, so what I'm going to do is make this a little.
Aber ich kann mehr nicht sehen. Ja, kann mehr nicht sehen.
All right, so when I do these song sheets, not always, but sometimes if I've done a little research, I'll put a little bit like about Ruth Rubin here, just mention her. And then we have even the name of the man who sang it for her when she recorded in '55. I've got some links So anybody who has my sheet can then go to those sites. This is Ada Hetko is the young lady we're going to hear. But okay, so what is this word here? Ochkalech, which I said over here was going to be eyes. That's obviously not Yiddish, is it? Right? So anybody remember the song Ochi Chornya da 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 da, the Russian song? Right?
Yeah,
Russisch,
dark eyes,
Russisch.
dark eyes.
Yeah,
Aha,
oh,
all right.
Chichornia, la la la, yeah.
So
Ich
exactly.
verstehe.
So here we
Yeah.
go. This is interesting. The word used for eyes is not Yiddish. That would have been eye is das Oig, the Eugen, in the plural. And in the diminutive, it gets a vowel change. When you're saying small, not necessarily small, physically small eyes, but dear, precious, then it's just egel, the egelech. But that's not it. What's this? Ochkalech, right? So I thought it was a Yiddishized diminutive plural of a Russian borrowing because of the famous song, Ochi Chornya, which means dark eyes. But I did a little looking. Ochi is not the Russian word for eyes either. That word is glaza, which you see here in Cyrillic. All right, singular of glaz, one eye, and glaza eyes. So I dug a little further. The Ukrainian word is ochi. All right, singular for eyes, singular oko. All right, so it turns out that Ochi Chornya was written by a Ukrainian poet and writer, Hebrinka, who lived a very short life. Oh my goodness, only 36 years. And his first publication of the poem was in his own Russian translation in 5 years before he died. And his name Russified was Gabrionka. If you were looking in it, it would say Yevgeny. That's like Eugene in English, right? Yevhen in Ukrainian. So that's what it was. It's the Ukrainian word for eyes. And then we thought of that as a Russian song, but it was translated into Russian. So ochi is not even a Russian word. It's a Ukrainian word. So there you go. And that's the answer to this mystery here. So let's go now to, I think I can actually get it straight from here. Let me see if this works. I haven't tried to do that before. Let's see if I can link to share the song from here. Aha. I think it's going to work. You will love this. This girl is so darling. Sorry, of course, we always end up having to listen to a minute, moment or so of an ad. All right. And go to full screen here.
We don't see it, sweetie.
Oh, you're not seeing it? Why
No.
not? That's strange because on my thing, it looks like it's doing it. All right, let's try it this way. All right. Oh. Everybody see it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody needs to mute where their phone is ringing. All right. Oh, okay. Oh, did I not? There. Okay.
In draußen ist finster, in draußen ist finster, sie spät bei Nacht. Mein Herz kein Schum, kein Schock, kein Fegele fliehen auf der Gas. Mein Herz kein Schum, kein Schock, kein Fegele fliehen auf der Gas. Wo bist du gefällt? Ich will mit dir zwei Wörter reden. Wo bist du gewählt? Ich will mit dir zusammen sein. Drogoma reust du mir, mein Teil aus Island. Ich steh und wart im Gas, allein, ich weiß nicht warum. Ich steh und wart im Gas, allein, ich weiß nicht warum. Oh, wo bist du bist du gefällt, will mit dir zwei Wörter reden. Komm, Geräusch, will mit dir zusammen gehen. Wo bist du gefällt, will mit dir zwei Wörter reden. Komm, Geräusch, will mit dir zusammen sein.
Isn't that absolutely darling? So I just love that song. Any comments on the song before we move on? Anybody want to unmute themselves and say anything about it? No? Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Oh, we had Susan. You're muted again. I think you wanted to say something, Susan.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Sorry.
yes,
That was really so beautiful. I don't know if it's in the scope of this discussion, but could you speak at all about the use of je?
Oh, je. It's one of those throw-in words that just sort of means like, yeah. So we have a couple of others of those that they don't really translate. Ari,
for
Dick,
emphasis
Dick,
is
you want to
used-
unmute yourself, and if you have anything to say about that, or anybody else?
Is it used for emphasis, would you say? I mean, is it a part of speech or?
It's like an, I don't know what you would call that. It's like so. That's often how I translate it. Anybody else have anything to add for that?
I think someone, Susan Fleminger, did you want to say something?
No, I just got a sign that I should unmute.
Oh.
Okay, it's okay, mute then, mute yourself.
I'll tell you what, here's what we'll do on that. We will do a proper lookup and see what I call this the French dictionary. A lot of you grew up on Weinreich, Oriel Weinreich, and that's a wonderful dictionary, but this one came out, there were French scholars who put this one together, and then in like 2002, and then in 2013, the entire listing of the Yiddish words then were translated to English. They didn't cheat and go from French to English. They just used the original list to go to English. So, but I call it the French dictionary just for short because it's got two names for the editors. So let's see what they have in here for je. By the way, those of you who know how to spell in the Oisius, you have to put a Zion and a Shin together to get je. It's not a real common sound in Yiddish, but it is in the Slavic languages, so which usually you see a zh, you can probably guess it's a Slavic borrowing, or French. Of course, French has zh too. So let's see what they have for zh. Yeah, it just says so or then and emphasis in parentheses. So that's what, is that Susan, you were just saying maybe it's emphasis, yes. And like kum rein, and this was the come, these were the come on down. So they give us an example, kum rein, which come on in then. So it's a little emphatic, or either so or then. Okay, good question. Good question. Okay, so
I
let's,
think there's one more question, Asia.
there is, okay.
I wanted to a little bit to add to the explanation.
Good.
Zhe comes from Russian, and it's an expression. First of all, the letter zhe in Russian is only one letter.
Right.
So that's why it's when we write it in Yiddish, it's expressed in more than one letter, but it comes from one letter zhe.
Right.
And secondly, I wanted to add that the difference between kumarois and kumje arois, it's not only emphasis, but it's also a matter of urgency. So I think it's more urgency than emphasis even.
Yeah, or at least especially
That's
in
the
this
difference.
case, because he's desperate to see her.
But it's in any case. I think je is used in Russian as an expression of urgency.
Urgency. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Like
so-
already.
Good.
Come on, already.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, of course, we use shoin or shen a lot of times for all of the already.
Right, and
But
it's
this is
very
more emphatic.
like Shane. Kum Shane Arois, kum je Arois. It's
Right.
to my ear, in this case, it's an equivalent.
Yeah. Now, are you a native speaker of Russian or?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. But don't forget too, a lot of times when something moves from one language to another, there are shades, it doesn't always carry the full meaning that it did originally. So again, I'm going the dictionary, the experts are saying so or then, emphasis, and you're saying more than just emphasis in Russian, it's more urgency. So, and I think we could see that in this young man being just desperate to have the girl come down, and he's just so smitten. Don't you love an old word like smitten? Okay, all right. So let's see if I can pull up another song here for you. Go to our share screen. On, there we go. And any more there? One more? Come on. For some reason, not everything I put in my down there is actually showing up now when I go to do share screen. So let me just try something here. Screen, put this down, get rid of the Royce and his Finstead, and we'll go get, now I was, I didn't want to get too much into just the old worn out folk songs that everybody, any Yiddish program, there are two or three songs that are always played, like Afen Tripachik. But this one I just wanted to do because I'm going to do a folk song that everybody knows. This one we happen to have a wonderful version of it to play for you, sung by a wonderful, wonderful folk singer, modern, current day folk singer, who just happens to be my son. And so, and he does an especially darling, he has a couple of hundred songs on YouTube in many languages, and following sort of in his grandfather, my father's footsteps of being a polyglot. Although nobody could ever match my father. If you read your intro, he knew 52 languages, which is of course rather unusual. But anyhow, but my son has sung in at least 20, probably more than that, but quite a few in Yiddish. It's not his main thing. He's mainly a Celtic singer. He does Irish folk songs, pub songs, seafaring pirate songs, all kinds of folk songs. But he's done quite a few Yiddish ones on his YouTube channel, and quite a few Hebrew songs and a few Ladino songs. And he's really quite wonderful. So can everybody see the song now? Yes? on the sharing.
We can
stuff?
see it on the screen.
You do? Okay, okay, good. All right, so this is, everybody knows Tumbalaika, and we're gonna again have readers volunteer to do this. And I will again move it, make it bigger, because I'll read the English, and then people can read either the oyster or the.
I volunteer.
Okay, we got a volunteer. Oh, so the first verse goes, a young lad stands and thinks, or sometimes it says he stands and thinks the whole night whom to take.
I'm sorry, but Ray Kane has a sound problem. If you hear that,
Yeah,
I know she wants to talk, but we're getting double sound from her.
Oh, does she, maybe she has her
Oh, I don't
smartphone as well as her, all
I volunteer to
right, so we gotta read it.
read this.
All right, so this is the young man who's
Okay.
trying to decide whether this young woman is the one he wants to marry. She's gotta be clever. So go ahead and see if you can read this for us without too much reverb there or whatever.
Steht der Bacher und tracht. Tracht und tracht die ganze Nacht. Wemmen zu nehmen und nicht verschämen. Wemmen zu nehmen und nicht verschämen.
Very nice. Why don't you keep going?
Well, that's Tumbalaika. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that, all right? In fact, everybody, you can mute yourself and sing along with it. Drum on the balalaika, play the balalaika.
Tumbalaika, vrijelijk zal
May
zijn.
we be merry, we should be merry. All right, the next verse, we need another volunteer to sing the verse for girl, I want to ask you, and here's the riddles. What can grow without rain? What can burn and never be burned up, never be with no end? And what can yearn, cry without tears? Have a volunteer? And you can sing it if you want. Madel, anybody?
Mädel,
Awesome.
Mädel was bei dem Fragen, was kann wachsen und Regen, was kann brennen und nicht aufhören, was kann weinen und tränen.
All right, very nice. And then we go to Malaikas. And then the verse where the young lady answers the riddles for him. She says, foolish lad, why do you have to ask? And here you'll see a difference between the way you've usually heard this as a stain. A stone can grow without rain, but that's nonsense. Stones don't grow with or without rain, except maybe a little bit of stalactite, stalagmite action, and that's silly. So quite a few years ago, a friend of mine who was fluent in Yiddish and knew lots of folk songs and all, he said, it's not a stain, it doesn't fit we're talking about love and the heart and so on. He says it's verstehen, to understanding grows without rain, and then love can burn without being used up, and a heart can yearn and cry without tears. May we have a reader or singer for this verse? Somebody come on and do this for us? Foolish boy?
All right, if there's nobody left, I'll do it.
Okay, go ahead.
Where are we now?
Narische Boche.
Narische Woche, was darfst du fragen? A Stein kann wachsen und Regen. Liebe kann brennen und nicht aufhören. A Herz kann bänken, weinen und tränen. Tumbalala, tumbalala, tumbalalaika. Tumbalala, tumbalala, tumbalalaika. Tumbalalaika, spiel balalaika. Tumbalalaika, freilich soll sein.
Very nice. Now there are additional verses that are not usually sung. This is more riddles. This one says, what's higher than a house? What is swifter than a mouse? What is deeper than a well? And what is more bitter than gall? And then the answers are a chimney, Koiman is hecher von a Huis, is higher than a house. A Katz is flinker von a Mois, a cat is swifter than a mouse. Die Teure is tiefer von a Qual, the Torah is deeper than a well. And der Tod is bitter, bitterer wie gall. A death is bitter, bitterer than, more bitter than gall. So that is, that's the song. And let's see if I can get, maybe I can get the share from over here. See if this works. Okay, we'll try this. This is my son if it opens up. And you'll like the thing he does.
Thank
does
you.
the girls answer.
David Mordechai, and today I would like to sing you the song where if you don't really know Yiddish music, but you know one Yiddish song, this is probably the one you know. It's Tum Balalaika. We're going to do it. We're going to get it over with. We're going to move on. Tum Balalaika actually means strum on a balalaika, which is a Russian stringed instrument. It's triangular, and it's also very expensive, which is why I don't own one. We're going to play it on the guitar, and we'll pretend we've done it on a balalaika. The song is about a young man who sees a young woman and falls in love, and he says to himself, I know she's beautiful, but I want to know, is she smart? So he poses 3 riddles to her to determine whether or not she is wise. And it turns out that she knows all the answers. All the women know all the answers because women are smarter than men, and there's really nothing we can do about it. Let's sing a song. Steht der Bucher, steht und tracht, a ganze Nacht. Wem zu nennen, wo nicht verschämen, wem zu nennen, wo nicht verschämen. Tumbala, 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 laika, tumbala, 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 laika, tumbala, laika, spiel mal, laika, tumbala, laika, fein soll sein. Mädel, Mädel, ich will bei dir fragen, was kann wachsen, wachsen und regen, was kann brennen ohne Teufel, was kann wenken, weinen und tränen. Tumbala, 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 laika, tumbala, 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 laika, tumbala, laika, spiel mal, laika, tumbala, laika, fein soll sein.
Bucher, was darfst du fragen, verstehen von wachsen, wachsen anregen. Lieder von brennen ohne Teufel, ein Herz von Menschen, weinen und tränen.
Tumbala, 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 laika, tumbala, 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 laika, tumbala, laika, spiel mal, laika, tumbala, laika, fein soll sein. Tumbala, laika, spiel mal, laika, tumbala, laika, fein soll sein. Well, I hope you enjoyed the high notes there. David Anthony tells me that those are extra difficult to get when you're wearing a corset. I wouldn't know. If you enjoyed it, do feel free to like and subscribe, look us up on Facebook, post comments. This song here, and I hope to see you again soon.
Okay, and now if I can figure out how to get out of that so that I can not getting my, oh, there it is. Wait a minute. Okay, good. All right, now, so I hope you enjoyed his high notes there as he did the girls part in falsetto. Okay, now, the next one we're going to do, and Ari, our friend Dick from St. Louis, I'm gonna make sure you volunteer and do one of these stanzas here, since you've been kind enough to come on. He's from our club. Our Allentown, Pennsylvania club actually is about half St. Louis, because apparently there are a couple of Yiddish clubs over there they didn't have anybody who knew how to set up Zoom meetings. So by word of mouth, we ended up adopting quite a few people from different places, from Philadelphia and New York and Florida, whatever, who come to our meetings. Ari is one of my favorite friends from St. Louis. So the song we're going to do next, this is one that is especially moving. I didn't want to play anything that would be like, really sad and make people cry. There are lots of Yiddish songs that can do that. Gewirtig songs written during the Holocaust, songs about people coming to America and forgetting their mothers and never writing home again, and all kinds of sad songs. But this one, if I can get, where are my lyrics for it? All right, not there. Come on. It's come on. Here we go. It's got a sort of a Holocaust theme. It was written in under those circumstances, but it's more of an anthem to our survival as a people, that we will not disappear from this earth, no matter how much certain people wanted that or want that to happen. All right, so everybody can see the song lyrics now, right? Right? Yes? Somebody? Right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. Okay, all right, so let's again enlarge the Yiddish part, and I'll read some lines and have, let's say we'll have Ari start and then somebody else can do. All right, so this says, we live forever, the world burns. The Yiddish construction, it burns a world. We live forever without a dime of money. And despite all enemies who want to slander us, literally blacken our face. We live forever, we are here. We live forever in every hour. We want to live and experience. We want to survive the bad times. We will live forever, we are here. Okay, Ari, you want to read, please? Is it big enough for you?
I'm unmuting. Okay, am I unmuted? Yes.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Wir leben ewig, es brennt der Welt. Wir leben ewig ohne großen Geld. Und auf zu Puckenes, die alle Sonnen, was willen uns verschwarzen unser Ponem. Do I keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
Wir leben ewig, wir seien da. Wir leben ewig in jeder Show. Wir wollen leben und der Leben, schlechte Zeiten überleben. Wir leben ewig, wir seien da.
Beautiful. Okay. And then our second line, I had you read that. It looks like a lot of lines, but they're very short lines. So we'll have one reader for this next part, and then I'll play the song for you. So this ends, we live on, a world burns, we live on without a cent. Well, that's all repeat. Let's see, is anything different here? All right, from here, we live in every hour.
It's the
We
same.
Go on living, we live through these evil times. It's pretty much the same, it's a repeat. Okay, so we, let's go to the song. And it starts out in black and white. So don't think there's something wrong with your screen.
Wir leben ewig,
Starts very quiet.
es brennt a Welt. Wir leben ewig, ohne groschen Geld. Und auf ze picken ist die alles Sonnen, was willen uns verschwarzen, unsere Ponym. Wir leben ewig, wir seien tot. Wir leben ewig in jeder Show. Wir wollen leben und erleben schlechte Zeiten. Überleben, wir leben ewig. Wir seien, wir leben ewig. Es brennt a Welt. Wir leben ewig ohne groschen Geld. Und läuft ze picken nicht die alles von ihm, was willen uns verschwarzen unser Ponym. Wir leben ewig, wir seinen Tod. Wir leben ewig in jeder Show. Wir wollen leben und erleben schlechte Zeiten. Überleben, wir leben ewig, wir seinen Tod. Wir leben ewig, es brennt alt. Wir leben ewig, und ein großen Geld. Und auf Zepiken nicht die alles von ihm, was willen uns verschwarzen, unser von ihm. Wir leben ewig, wir seinen da. Wir leben ewig, in jeder Show. Wir wollen leben und erleben schlechte Zeiten. Überleben, wir leben ewig, wir seinen da.
Bardzo fajne, pożydowskie.
Leben. Es brennt a Welt. Wir leben ewig an a großen Geld. Und neu zu picken nicht die alles von ihm, was willen uns verschwarzen, unser Ponym. Wir leben ewig, wir seinen Tod. Wir leben ewig in jeder Show. Wir wollen leben und erleben schlechte Zeiten. Überleben, wir leben ewig, wir seinen Tod.
Isn't that amazing?
Wonderful.
If you never heard that before, just amazing song.
Janice, someone asked a question.
Yes.
I don't know, I'm getting a double sound, but okay. The question is, they want to know how they can join your Allentown group. So you'll have to let everyone know that.
Oh, sure. Okay. I can send the link to you and you can forward it to everybody that you email to.
Well, the people that are here, I don't have everybody's email.
Oh, okay.
So if
Yeah.
you could just put it in the chat or even tell it to everyone, it's okay.
And also, what's your father's name that has all the YouTube?
Oh,
I
it's my
looked up
son.
Mikoski and there's a bunch of them, so.
Yeah, it's my son who does the YouTube videos. That's
Okay,
he
I
goes under,
found it then.
yeah, he goes under the name of his Jewish name is David Mordechai, but his main stage name is you have to have the in it, the Foxy Bard.
I found it. Okay, thank you.
Foxy Bard. As far as our Yiddish club, if you look on you Google on your internet, the Allentown Jewish Community Center. The link is in when they talk about adult activities or whatever, ongoing classes, I forget how they have us in there, but we're in there and the link is there. We meet on normally on Tuesdays from 1:30 to 3, except September is usually crazy because the holidays are the Tuesdays are almost all holidays this year. So we'll actually be meeting all 4 Mondays at our regular hour, but different day for September, and then we go back to Tuesdays.
Oh,
So
if you could change it to Monday, that would be great. Because Tuesday, a lot of Jewish people have programs on
the program.
Tuesday.
Well, we're actually in the middle of taking a vote. There were some people who just have to stay Tuesday, some preferred Monday. It's about half and half right now. We might end up moving. I would love us to move to an evening and get younger people in. And my friend Dick there had a very funny. Dick, why don't you unmute? Because I want to really introduce you properly. Dick is friends of people in St. Louis who had joined the club, as I told you, when because of the COVID, because of the plague, the Magafa. So typically when somebody suddenly pops up, like some of you might, you get the link through the JCC Allentown Jewish Community Center website, and suddenly there you are in our meeting at 1:30 on a Tuesday. And so there he showed up. And the first question I always ask is, okay, what's your Jewish name? Because we use our Jewish names. So Dick, what did you answer?
I'm not sure what I answered, except that I pleaded that I didn't have one.
Yeah, that's what you said. And I said, your parents never gave you a Jewish name? And you said?
Goyish parents, what can I say?
Not Jewish. And I said, oh, well, I'm thinking what, he converted as, you didn't get a Jewish name? But no, Ari, well, his name is Dick in English. He's not Jewish. And his wonderful story about how tell this story. It's a great story about how you became fluent in Yiddish.
Okay, in 25 words or less, well,
Yeah.
probably, or a few more. When I was in the Air Force.
Can you do the way we do topic talk, do a sentence in Yiddish and then translate?
No, not without preparation.
Oh, okay.
Janice, you don't know how many hours I spend preparing those 3-minute topic talks.
Yeah, gotta look up the dictionary before. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead. In English.
In English. When I was in the Air Force in the 60s, mid 60s, I had three of us moved off base and rented a house. And one of the three of us was a friend named Stu Solomon from Milford, Massachusetts. And his mother used to send him clippings from the Forward. And I found it fascinating.
The Yiddish.
Yes, the Yiddish. Well, in the mid 60s, I don't think there was an English Forward.
Right. Just want to make sure people got the time frame.
Yeah.
In Yiddish, right.
And so it sort of fascinated me that he could read those and I couldn't. And I knew some German, and I thought, maybe I could learn this. So with Stu's help, we got a book, Golden Self-Teacher Yiddish or whatever. Anyway, I actually learned to reasonably read and write Yiddish. And although Stu used to say, I would leave notes for him and he would say, Lodge, you write Yiddish like a goy. And I would say, Boudin. Anyway, Stu was then transferred to Vietnam. That's one of the joys of the Air Force is you don't know where you're going or when. And so I decided that I was going to give him a 6-month subscription to the Forward. So I wrote a letter to the Forward and sent them a check. Well, I wasn't really thinking. I'm in Jacksonville, Arkansas when I do this. So I didn't pay much attention. Well, apparently when my letter arrived at the Forward, not only was I under 30.
But wait, you didn't mention, you wrote the letter.
In Yiddish.
Yiddish, in script, handwritten Yiddish.
Yeah. So, we didn't have computers in those days. Anyway, so I wrote the letter in Yiddish and sent it off. And I didn't know this, but what apparently happened was that not only was I under 30, which got them all excited at the Forward, here's somebody under 30 who writes to us in Yiddish, but a Gentile to boot. So unbeknownst to me and to Stu, they printed my letter on page 1 of the Forward with a headline, Christlicher Offizier, was hat sich ausgelehrt Yiddish by a Chaber, jetzt, by a Feind, I think it was by a Feind, jetzt in Vietnam, schreibt Brief zum Vorwärts. And a facsimile of my letter and an article about me. Now, they didn't say I was a mensch, but they said that that 6-month subscription was an example of great menschlichkeit. So that's as close as I'm likely to get. Anyway, and the funny thing is that I didn't know that. Apparently, Stu's grandmother in Florida called his mother in Massachusetts and said, "Stu's in the forward, Stu's in the forward." And what happened, and the first I heard about it was a letter from Stu that said, "Lodge, what the hell have you done?" And it turns out that he started getting letters. And I can still almost quote one of them. She said, my grandmother told me I should write to you. I'm 5'4", red hair, Orthodox, but not fanatic about it. So he started getting letters from girls whose grandmothers and mothers had told them, "Write to this boy, write to this boy." Anyway, so that's how I got to what happened to learn Yiddish.
A wonderful story.
And it maintained it, I guess, sort of, kind of.
Well, you've got a gift for language, and of course you went on to learn Dutch. And so
Yes.
really Dick ends up being one of the most helpful people in Yiddish Club, because one of us doesn't know how to translate something, he'll often recognize it from the Dutch if he didn't know it from the Yiddish. Now, by the way, we always give people, he had to have a Yiddish name. So I said, well, what are we going to have for you? His name's Richard. So I went to look up, what names mean, and I couldn't find anything that would make a good, translate into a good Yiddish name. So I thought of Richard the Lionheart, and I gave him the name Ari, the lion.
It took me a long time when it's only in Yiddish Club. If I were walking down the street and somebody said, "Hey, Ari," I'd keep walking. But in Yiddish Club, I understand that when Janice says Ari, she means me.
I'm sorry to interrupt. He has a beautiful speaking voice. I bet he could sing too. He sounds like he could be a good singer. No. Oh.
It is interestingly genetic, because my father couldn't sing, my grandfather couldn't sing, and I contacted, coincidentally, thanks to 23andMe, I'm in touch with faters in Canada, and apparently no male lodge can sing. When my father loved to sing, we all love to sing, but out of kindness, we don't. When my dad would sing in a group, just the people standing around him would stop singing because they couldn't stay on key with him singing. And once that circle stopped, the next circle would stop singing because now they were hearing him. And it goes on like that until pretty soon we're the only ones singing. So we don't do that.
You're wonderful. It's good to listen to you.
Thank you.
You're an inspiration to the rest of us. We've got to work harder.
So, okay, yes, again, here for Ari. And now, speaking of who can sing or not, I'm going to sing one for you. And this is something that has never been heard. We're playing YouTube videos. Lots of people know these songs and have heard them. I'm going to play one for you that no one in the world has heard except my Yiddish Club people, because this is an original, all right? Sort of original, more of a parody. And Ari, you already know, so don't say anything. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to sing you the opening stanza of something. We translate, we meaning I did the initial work, and then I got help from one lady in our club who's really, really good. Some of the more difficult verb formations in here that I didn't know how to do. So this is in Yiddish. You will, what I want you to do is, if the minute you recognize the song, raise your hand, and then we'll let people unmute them. When I finish the first 4 lines, we'll let you unmute and say what the song, the original, the title that you know the song by, and who sang it originally. And I'll give you a hint, in 1961. And then we'll do the whole song, and I'll do the share screen. Well, I don't know if I'll do the share screen or not. I haven't decided. But anyhow, so of the lyrics. But imagine this in a nice, beautiful baritone voice. Chachamim sagen, nur Naronim springen rein, aber ich kann sich nicht einhalten und verlieben sich in dir. Okay, MZ, you had your hand up first. So unmute yourself and tell us what the song is.
Mariv is her name, Mariv.
I
Marie?
haven't changed it. I can't help falling in love with you. I can't remember who sang it though.
You can't remember? Only the biggest star of the 50s and early 60s. #1 male vocalist in the world until Otis Redding took his place.
Elvis.
Elvis, of course.
Oh, Elvis,
Presley.
right.
Elvis Presley.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
All right, so we'll just start over. I actually found a nice karaoke, so we can have a little bit of background music on this. See if this works. Okay, everybody, go mute yourself again, and let's see if I can get some sound in here. Raise your hand if you can hear that. Hear it a little. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. Too slow. I don't like the tempo they run this at. I'm going to change the playback speed. Otherwise the song is just too long. Chachamim sagen, nur Naronim springen rein, aber ich kann sich nicht einhalten und verlieben sich in dir. Soll ich bleiben, wird es gewinn a Sinn. Ob ich wohl nicht gekannt sich einhalten und verlieben sich in dir. And then like a river flows, wie a Teich fließt, sicher in den Jam, nicht Jutake, etliche Sachen seinen beschert. Nimm mein Hand, euch mein ganzes Leben, weil ich kann sich nicht einhalten und verlieben sich in dir. I'm going to stop it there. It's just a repeat after that. So that's the song in Yiddish. Okay. Any questions on that song before we move on to another song? No? Okay. Or actually, well, I must do this. I had 2 more ready for you. Was a Berry Sisters, because we have a lot of fans of the old Second Avenue era and the Yiddish pop music, and I had to have a Theodore Vinkl, because at least I grew up, that's how I first learned Yiddish music, was a Theodore Vinkl album. So how many of you want to hear Vinkl? All right, that's almost every. So let's go. I'm going to get the Vinkl up here, and it's a folk song. Oh, no, it's not. I'm sorry. It's written by Mordechai Gebirtig, one of the great poets who, as I recall, he died in the Holocaust. Let's see if I've got it here. Why is it every song I want is not here, and I have to go fish around for it? Don't understand this. This is a real fun, lively song. And let's see if I can get it sharing up here again. Oh, that one's in that order, right? Okay. So share. Here we are. Okay, and again, we'll have some readers. Play on, is anybody who's ready to do the first verse, unmute. Play on, dear children, the spring has begun. Oh, I am children envious of you now. Ari, why don't you read? No, you read already. That's right. Sorry, somebody else. Anybody else? Spielt euch liebe Kinderlach, der Frühling, spring, Schoen or Shen Bagint. Oi, wie bin ich kinderlich, mekana eichatzin. And then the refrain goes, rejoice, rejoice, children, as long as you're young, because from spring to winter is only an instant. This is another word that comes in from a Slavic language. Okay, so I have a reader, somebody to do the refrain for us? Anybody? Huliet, Huliet, kinderlich. Come on, a volunteer. Let's get a reader here.
Okay, I'll read.
Okay.
Okay. Huliet, Huliet, kinderlich, Kolsmanje sind noch jung. Weil von Frühling bis zum Winter ist ein Katzensprung. Spielt euch, liebe Kinder.
Hold on a second, because I didn't read the English.
Okay, Chava Alberstein singt es sehr, sehr schön.
Yes, she does a wonderful version of this, and I apologize. I did not have any Chava queued up for this program. I didn't have any Rosenblatt. A lot of people I did. Oh, I don't have any Ruth Rubin for us. I don't have any Martha Schlama for us today. Maybe I'll come back another time and we'll do some of these others. But anyhow, this is, I said, a Slavic word. What is this Zaman? What language is that from?
Hebrew.
Right. And I love this expression to say something is just an instant. It's a what?
A Katzensprung. Wie kommt a Katz über ein Wasser? A Katzensprung.
Yeah. The cats jump, they're so fast, so the amount of time a cat takes to jump is just an instant. And since you're on and you're doing so well, we'll let you go ahead and do play on, dear children. Don't waste any time. Take me in your game. Give me that joy too, children. Okay. Spiel.
Okay. Spielt sich, liebe Kinderlich, versäumt kein Augenblick. Nehmt mich euch herein ins Spiel, verginnt mir euch das Glück. Huliet, Huliet, Kinderlich.
Refrain, and then
the next one, yeah.
And then the next verse. Don't look at my gray hair. Does that spoil your game? My spirit is still young as it was many years ago. Go ahead.
Okay. Guckt nicht auf mein greuen Kopf. Sie schert das Eichenspiel. Meine Schommer ist noch jung. Wie zurück mit Jahren viel.
And then we have the refrain again, and rejoice, children, my spirit is still young and dies of nostalgia. How it longs for leaving this old body behind.
Yeah. Meine
Schommer. Jung und geht von Bänkschaft aus. Ach, die Gern will sich hier von alt. Guf arois. Is another word from Hebrew. Guf is Hebrew.
Yeah.
Yep. And the last verse is this is repeat. It's a refrain. Okay, so let's go to let's get Vinkl here. This is late in his well, not terribly late. He lived to be whatever it was, 90-ish or something. So this was he was an old man here already. But somebody looked at this and said, wait a minute, is that Zalman Mlotek? I said, oh, they all look alike at that age. This is Vinkl. Oh, here we go.
Oi, Julia, Kinder, Gott, Mann, ihr seid noch jung. Weil von Frühling bis zum Winter ist ein Katzensprung. Spielt das, liebe Kinder, versäumt den Augenblick, versäumt den Augenblick. Nehmt mich euch herein ins Spiel, verginnt mir eures Lied. Nehmt mich euch herein ins Spiel, verginnt mir eures Lied. Oi, Julia, Kinder, Gott, Mann, ihr seid noch jung. Weil von Frühling bis zum Winter ist ein Katzensprung. Guckt dich auf mein grauen Kopf, zerstört das Sache-Spiel. Zerstört das Sache-Spiel. Meine Schaume ist doch jung, wie zurück mit Jahren viel. Meine Schaume ist doch jung, wie zurück mit Jahren viel. Oi, Kinder, was Mann sind noch jung. Weil von Frühling bis zum Winter ist ein Katzensprung. Meine Schaume ist noch jung. Geht vom Menschhaft aus und geht vom Menschhaft aus. Aber wie gern will sich hier von alten Ufer aus. Aber wie gern will sich hier von alten Ufer aus. Kinder, was Mann ist noch jung. Weil von Frühling bis zum Winter ist ein Katzensprung. I've translated this, goes like this. Take no heed of my grey head, does it disturb your play? Does it disturb your home? My soul is still so very young, much as yesterday. My soul is still so very young, much as yesterday. From play my blue ones when we were young. Now it's spring, but winter time is but a jump away. My soul is still so very young and yearning to be free, and yearning to be free, longing to escape the cage of my anatomy, longing to escape the cage of my anatomy. Tu liebe Kinder, lacht kurz, wann ihr seid noch jung, weil von Frühling bis zum Winter ist ein Katzensprung. Spielt doch, liebe Kinder, versäumt den Augenblick, versäumt den Augenblick, weil der Frühling endlich bald beginnt, weil der Frühling endlich bald mit Kinders Feste. Oh, Kinder, lacht kurz, wann ihr seid noch jung, weil von Frühling bis zum Winter ist ein Katzensprung.
Sorry, I lost the video on him there for a minute. I was
Thank you.
at our next thing. For today, but it's one of our modern, current day performers and so on, and that is Daniel Kahn. So that would be something we could have something of his.
He's with the Arbiter Ring too.
Next time.
Yeah.
All right, we have
Great.
one more
Thank
song,
you
but I
so
think
much.
we're already at 1 o'clock, and so I'm going to save the Berry Sisters if we have time for this other song, because there were other things that I had.
Maybe they have some questions about
sure.
your father and your son, and you could tell them where they could find all that information. Did your father put anything, record anything, or?
No. He died in 2005, and I wasn't into YouTube and that stuff yet then, I don't think even. We have very little recording of him, sadly. When we had a good camera one time, I recorded him reciting. He knew long poems, multiple verses in many languages. I think I have a video of him reciting Rainer Maria Rilke in German and Federico Garcia Lorca in Spanish, and there were these Russian folk songs. He could do the one about where the guy throws the Turkish woman into the river. You know the song. Somebody knows what.
Janice, if you get those digitized before whatever you have it recorded on deteriorates, it's very easy once they're digitized to upload them to YouTube.
Yeah, so I'd have to find one of those companies
before they degrade.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. I should do that. But I don't think I have any of him doing the Russian songs, but he would do one of these old Russian folk songs and just go on and on, 5, 10, 15 verses. I don't know. He had all this in his head. But well, my son has that gift too. He can hear something once or twice, maybe, and he's got it. Which is why he's got so many songs that he's posted in so many languages. And I actually did want to share something that I thought you guys would find interesting. I've got it. Every time I look, it's not what's there. Let me just turn that off for a second. Here we go. Oh yeah, I did try to pull this up. So that's what I wanted to have for you to see. Oh, I better get out of Hebrew alphabet here. I don't want to correct something wrong and have my right to left all suddenly reversed. Those of you who haven't tried to type in Yiddish, you don't know what we go through. Okay, so now everybody can see this, right? This was bar mitzvah speech. We had the original handwritten copy in a scrapbook in his handwriting, not block letters, but in script, Yiddish script. And a lot of it's the typical stuff that the boys say at their bar mitzvah. But this one especially interesting thing. This is 1932. And those of you who know some history will really appreciate the significance of this, having been written in 1932. And we see here, he says, Das ist euch mein he's talking about how he relates to being part of the Jewish people and what we've gone through, and that you stand behind, you carry the yoke, in spite of the persecutions, mir leben ewig, right? Das ist euch mein Enter wegen Brüder in Deutschland, wo Yiddish leben, is in größer Gefahr. This is my answer concerning brethren in Germany, where Jewish life is in great danger. Wo die Hitleristen willen nicht anerkennen, die Rede von unseren Nevien, wegen Frieden und Joisher. Right, so it's where the Hitlerites refuse to recognize what our prophets said about peace and justice. Wie gerecht ist gewesen unser größer Dichter, Yud Lamed Peretz, and he quotes from Peretz here. But anybody want to tell us what is the significance, the fact that he's warning about Hitlerites, the Hitler crowd, putting the Jewish people in danger in 1932. Who would like to comment on that? Unmute yourself.
I happen to know because my dad left Germany in 1933, right after Hitler came to power.
So he came to power in 33. This was written some months before Hitler came to power, and there was this warning in my father's bar mitzvah speech. Now, was he a prescient 13-year-old? No, it was his Rebbe. And in fact, apparently the custom was the rabbi wanted to have a certain message out to the community, and he pretty much wrote the bar mitzvah speech. And but my father said he did have some input in it. But basically the speech was ghost written by the rabbi. And but isn't that something to have that in writing that I found? There it was in my father's handwriting in pencil, fading on a piece of yellowing notebook paper, lined paper. Now, speaking of speeches, I had another speech for you here, if we have time for just a bit of it. It's a long speech, so we're not going to play a lot, but let's go here, share screen. The one, and who was the only author who has ever won the Nobel Prize in Literature for something written in Yiddish? Anybody?
Singer.
Singer, right. And so this famous acceptance speech here. We want to read this from here first or listen to him first. Let's listen to him and you see how much you get of it. From here. Oh, I thought I had him here. There it is. Yes, it is.
Was Yitzchak Bashevi Singer hat gehalten auf dem Movement in Stockholm, either es ist im offiziell.
Oh, I just remembered. I found this one that has the caption, so we don't need to look at the sheet. We can get the idea from here.
Geteilt geworden, der Nobelpreis für Literatur.
All right, we got a little buffering because it's longer, I guess. There we go. Sorry about the buffering.
Verwürdigter Minorität, durch ein größeres Experiment in Schulen,
hold on.
Selbstdisziplin und Humanismus. Rechtlich befinden existieren bis
It's
heute
not the beginning of the talk. I don't know how it got down there. Right.
Sie ist aufgenommen geworden in Stockholm, dem 8. Dezember des vergangenen Jahres. Wir ehren jetzt.
Man fragt mich oft, warum schreibst du Jiddisch? Und ich will Trieben geben auf der Frage an Entfer. Mein Entfer wird sein ein Jiddischlacher. Das heißt, ich will entfern mit einer Frage auf eine Frage. Der Entfer ist, warum soll ich nicht schreiben auf Jiddisch? Will ich besser schreiben auf Chinesisch oder auf Türkisch? Wie sagt man auf Türkisch? Haknisch Gatscheinig. Und wie sagt man das auf Englisch? Und wie sagt man auf Englisch? Dreht dich kein Hittel, folg mich a Gang, a Kuchen von der Mann Stanne, a Moishe Kapoye, a Kuchen Beleidu, a Joltener Kapelusch, a Nibbergedreit Schlüssel, a Scheute ben Pickel, a Muit mit a Xaf, a Jedene mit a Neuringel. Mit der Zeit zurück ist gekommen zu mir an Übersetzer, in ganz nach zertimmelter, in ganz nach verschwitzter. Wo ist der Mehr freigegeben? Sogt wie setzt man das über von Jiddisch auf Englisch, ein weicher Mensch, ein Diamond. In allen Sprachen ist ein Diamond hart, aber in Jiddisch ist ein Diamond weich. Kann man sagen in Englisch, soft like a diamond, oder soll ich schreiben, soft like a Jewish diamond? Jene, was teilen Wörter.
In Stockholm, dem 8. Dezember des vergangenen Jahres. Wir ehren uns.
Man fragt oft, was schreibt die Jiddisch?
All right, so we'll take that off. There we go. Okay. Oh, I've got to show you this. This is so cute. All right, this is Hollywood's. We find some cute things, comedic things, and this is one that I think you'll find very fun. It's clips from little clips from a number of famous movies with the English dialogue dubbed in Yiddish.
You gotta share the screen with us.
Oh, is that, I'm sorry, is it not shared?
No, we just see each other.
I messed up again. Oh, darn. I'm just not coordinated. That's like 5 days of 86 degrees in my house has fried my brain.
Listen, any senior who attempts to learn how to do Zoom gets super
points.
Congratulations.
A little Yasha Koacha. Okay. All right. So, and some of these movies I had not seen. What we did in our club is we played it and we asked people to see if they could remember what the movie was. But a lot of them, I haven't been seeing movies much in the last. And Yid Life, the people put this together, Yid Life Crisis. If you haven't seen them, I'll play one more of theirs. They're very cute. Here we go. I'll skip. I won't like.
Waar wil ik was weer zo uit echt aufzugeben?
No, was nicht? Toto? Mir das sagt mir seine mehr nicht in Kansas.
Machen sich mit mein kleiner Freund!
Du redest mit mir? Du redest mit mir? Du redest mit mir? Anders redest du redest mit mir?
Kom leave them rare from napalm and they're free.
Yo, der Dude verbleibt.
Der Dude verbleibt. Wegen? Dat van mir vor und darf mir nicht gehen. Wegen. Ihr wollt Entwers?
Ich bin berechtigt auf sie.
Ihr wollt Entwers?
Ich will dem Emmes.
Ihr könnt nicht benehmen dem Emmes. Wir können nehmen unsere Lebens. Aber kein Mal wollen sie nehmen unsere Freiheit.
Ai, gewalt. Ich nehm, was sie hat genommen.
Verstehst nicht, Volker kennt um Glas. Volker kennt seine Konkurrent. Volker kennt sein Amazon. Und ist dann der Bomb, was ich bin, Amazon.
Ich seh tote Menschen.
All right, okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Now, some of us thought that last was funny because it's a little boy, but the voice wasn't quite a little boy.
Yeah.
But
Was it?
anyhow, so let's see if I've got the sheet here. No, here it is. Okay. All right, we'll go back and share screen again. And we can look at a couple of these since you'd like to. That. And oh, I shouldn't have showed this first. All right, how many of you thought you recognized a few of you knew some of the movies, right? Right, you know, Wizard of Oz, certainly, some of them, right? So the here they are, and let me make this a little bigger. So this took a lot of research because I didn't know a lot of these movies. So I had to kind of figure out from based on an actor and look the actor up and see, oh, they were in such and such a movie, but I got them all. So the first was one of these sci-fi things that I'd never seen, Fellowship of the Ring, You Shall Not Pass, Du Gehst nicht vorbei, which I would have said, Du wirst nicht durchgehen, but whatever. And then Brokeback Mountain, which was the one about the homosexual relationship between the two cowboys. I had never seen that. I'd heard of it. And the line, he says, I wish I knew how to quit you. However, wollte ich gewusst, wie soll dich abzugeben. And then he says, well, why don't you? No, for was nicht. And then the Wizard of Oz, of course, the line is, I think we're not in Kansas anymore. Toto nicht dachte sich, as wir seien mir nicht in Kansas, right? And then we had Scarface where he's shooting at the people with his like machine gun or whatever it is. And he says, say hello to my little friend. Verkennt sich mit meinem kleinen Freund. And then Taxi Driver, that's the one. Are you talking to me? You talking to me? Du redst mit mir? Who else is here? Wem anders redst du? All right, and then Apocalypse Now was that scene in Vietnam. And he says, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. I'd never seen that either. Ich hab lieb den Reich von napalm in der Früh. And Reich, you might recognize, that's a word from Hebrew, right?
Right.
Right. And The Big Lebowski was the one that had Sam Elliott. I knew who Sam Elliott was, but I'd never seen him. Apparently, what do you call like a, what do you call those movies that have sort of a special crowd of people that revolve around that movie? I can't think of like the word they use. Cult, a cult, yeah, a cult film. That's it. Thank you. And so that's the one where he says, "Hey, the dude abides," and they use "dude" in the Yiddish because what else are you going to do with "dude"? Anyhow, and I looked up some stuff about where the line came from 1955. Lillian Gish, who goes back to all the silent films, but she was in that 1955 movie talking about save the little children, they abide. Anyhow, then we had Back to the Future. I think most of you probably recognized Christopher Lloyd. They're sitting at the steering wheel of his magic car. It says, where we're going, we don't. Roads, where we're going, we don't need Wegen. Dort wir fahren darf man nicht kein Wegen. We don't need any roads. And then the Few Good Men, I think everybody, I bet, knew that one with Jack Nicholson saying, you want answers? Tom Cruise. I think I'm entitled. So you heard that one. Does anybody like to read this dialogue to us? Anybody want to unmute and do Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise here for us? No, got no volunteers. All right. Du will entfers and berechtigt. I have the right. You will entfers. Ich will dem Emmes. Du kennst nicht bei Namen dem Emmes. You can't handle the truth. And then Braveheart, that's where Mel Gibson has the blue on his face, hearkening back to how far back that war was, 400 years ago, 500, 600, I don't know my history on that, British Isle stuff. Anyhow, they may take away our lives, but they'll never take away unsere Freiheit, our freedom. And everybody knows the scene where Meg Ryan is showing Crystal, isn't that his name? Billy Crystal, that I think that's his name, that women can fake orgasms. So she go, about, and then the woman in the background says to the waiter, I want what she's having. And that lady.
Oh, you know who that lady was? Rob Reiner's mother.
There it is. And we gave her credit there in it.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Wonderful. And we're going to have you back again and you could tell us more things. It's just fascinating. but the program will be ending soon. And I see Rachel, my friend. Rachel, you're still here, Rachel? She wants
Yeah.
to sing a song.
Yes,
And
yes.
maybe I'll let Rachel end the program, but before she does it, just want to tell you that Zoom Sits is having another program. They're going to start at 2 o'clock. So you could go on to another Yiddish program after we finish here. But it's just been wonderful, Janice. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You put in so much work, and it was just beautiful. And a lot of people want to go to your program. So change the date so more people from California, from Houston, they're going to come too. So that'll be great. And come back again to us. And Rachel is going to sing a song, and maybe she can end with Hatikva, because we always like to end Hatikva.
Marcia, before you go, there's also Catskill Radio starting right now.
Oh, okay.
with the
So Yiddish
program.
could be.
Sunday is full of Yiddish stuff now.
I'm so happy. That's why I came on early. I hoped I would catch a few of you. And I want to thank you all for coming. And I'll send you some things too, because I am also a singer. I like to sing once in a while. And then we'll get together again. We'll have a Yiddish karaoke. It's just wonderful. So I'm going to let Rachel take over now, and you could end the program. And we're going to finish around 1:30. So just do your thing for now, okay?
All right, before she does, let me again one more promo for my son. Write it down. It's the Foxy, Foxy Bard, as in a poet. The Foxy Bard is his name on YouTube. You want to find more of his songs in Yiddish and Ladino and so on, and Russian and Arabic. He sings and everything. And then if you want to come to our Yiddish club, go look on, just Google the Allentown, Pennsylvania Jewish Community Center, and we're there in the activities with the links. Again, thank you all for being such a lovely audience and participating. And now we hear a wonderful song. I'm going to mute myself.
Rachel, you're on, Rachel. Go ahead.
Okay. I am recently in love with cantorial music. I guess that's a sign of getting older. Yeah. So yeah, I'll sing a song. Actually, cantorial music is in Hebrew. The prayers are in Hebrew, but this one song is in Yiddish. And I sang it at Class Canada this past week. And so I guess it's fresh in my mind, and unless I already forgot it all. All a function of age. Yeah, okay. Ribono shel olam, Ribono shel olam, Ribono shel olam, Ribono shel olam, Ribono shel olam. Ich will dir als Dudel singen. Du, 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 du. I am Zoeko, ve'ai Eloi am Zoeko. Wo kann ich dich ja gefinnen? Und wo kann ich dich nicht gefinnen? Du, 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 du. Als wo ich geh, du. Und wo ich steh, du. רק דו, נולדו, איבדו, עובדו, דו, 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 דו. אז אם אצן גוד, ist doch du. Choline schlecht, oi, du, 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 oi, du, 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 oi, 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 du, 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 du. Mizrach du, Ma'ariv du, Tzofen du, Doem du, 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 du. Shamayim du, Oretz du, Mailo du, Mato du, 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 du. Wo ich kenn mich, wo ich wenn mich, du.
Shalom Dank, Shalom Dank.
Yasha Koach.
Someone in the chat, I think it was Veronica, she said her niece was the author of a song. She's my neighbor. She says Zola Schulman in Cape Town. And I don't know.
Sorry, can I put you right?
Put me
It
right.
was Mir Leben Abik, Mir Zanendor. That was her uncle, Zola's uncle. Leib Rosenthal was Zola's uncle. Zola actually, I think, is visiting family in the US at the moment, but she lives about a street away from me. And his son, you should hear her sing. She's a singer also and a songwriter. She got the talent. Her mother was also a singer, the late Chayela Rosenthal, who died in her 50s at the end of her season of playing Golda in Fiddler on the Roof. And Leib, yeah, you saw how tragically Leib was murdered in the labor camp in Estonia. But Zola, yeah, as I said, Zola sings beautifully. Her uncle's songs. Beautiful.
I found her version of that on YouTube. It is beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
And I posted a comment about how moving it was, and she sent me a very sweet, polite answer.
Yeah, she's lovely. She's just so warm and just such a lovely, lovely person. Yeah.
Yeah, and caring.
Maybe she'll come sometime, in person. We'd love to see her. But I'd like to just thank you again for coming. And I would love to end now. If you could sing Hatikva, Rachel.
Okay.
And then I'm Shalom Dank to Allah. Go ahead.
כל עוד בלב פנימה, נפש יהודי הומייה, ולפתי מזרח קדימה, עין לציון צופיה. עוד לא עמדה תקוותנו, התקווה בת שנות 2000, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים.
Thank you. That was beautiful. And I wish you all a good week and kommt zurück zusammen. And thank you again.
Shanem Dank, Marcia,
Thank you.
for setting this up and having your wonderful friends here.
Yes, it's my pleasure. And if anybody has any ideas, just write to me. And like I said, I want to run a Yiddish karaoke. If you want to sing, I could put it up for you and you could sing along with the karaoke. We could have fun like that. We could try that. It'll be another program. So seid gesund alle. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the Yiddish.
Everybody wish Marsha a happy birthday.
Yeah, I just had a birthday. I'm a Leo. Thank you.
Just turned 29.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. To Dein Geburtstag. You know that song? How about-
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead. You sing it.
No.
No, I would sing it, but it's my birthday. But all right, I'll sing it. If you could follow along. Zu dein Geburtstag, zu deinem Jomte frei, haben wir versammelt deine gute Freund. Hurra, hurra, wir wünschen dir, hurra, hurra, wir wünschen dir, wir wünschen dir gesund und Glück. Okay, Shanem Dank, sei gesund alle.
Thank you.
Dank.